The first big mainstream drama to really take a lot of techniques from documentary. So the handheld camera, it didn't have music, it was the sounds of the street. And I think that did make it feel really innovative.
Hey, I ain't got nothing to do with you lot!
At the time, there was nothing else like it on our screens. And the bill gave us some of television's best-loved characters. Model cops like PC June Ackland, lovable PC Tony Stamp, and firm but fair Sergeant Bob Cryer.
Give you a minute to cool down, right?
Glad to see that nose job was a success, Bobby.
And of course, the ever-charming Sergeant Frank Burnside, the maverick cop with a string of one-liners that made him enemies not just amongst the villains, but at Sun Hill too.
How do you fancy a trip to paradise?
Go away, Burnside. I've had enough for one day.
And who could forget bad boy DS Don Beach, the bent copper who murdered a fellow officer and went on the run before surfacing in Australia.
Action!
The characters may be larger than life, but the props are the real deal. All the cars are authentically modelled police vehicles, making The Bill the only show allowed to use real Metropolitan Police uniforms and equipment.
You can't win in this costume. In the summer, it's sweltering, and your feet, because you're in rubber boots. I don't know how the real police do it.
We are absolutely identical to the Metropolitan Police. And we do get an awful lot of kids coming up and asking for autographs and pictures and, you know, can you do this? Are you a real one? That's always a good one.
Yeah, well, it's my lucky day.
Yeah, you're lucky.
We take the authenticity of what we do very seriously. It means a lot to us because we work very hard to make sure that this show is as close to what it is like being a Met police officer as it is possible to be. And I think it's always humanised the police service. Not all of our police officers have been heroic, but they have all been human.
Baby, it's Sun Hill. It's brilliant.
Let's go!
Yay!
You're a good man.
It's my job, isn't it?
But how do you say goodbye to something after a quarter of a century? For the show's producers, how to sign off the series was a very tough decision. So what do you do? An explosion? The Bill's already seen its fair share of those. But the producers felt that razing Sun Hill to the ground wasn't really a fitting end for Britain's favourite cop shop.
We thought the options were that we could blow everything up and do something big and mad and sensational. But we ruled that out because we wanted to do something that celebrated what The Bill has always been about, which is ordinary people wearing a uniform and taking responsibility for society. We wanted to send out a message of this is what The Bill has always done, life goes on, and we wanted to finish with our heads held high.
So no explosive finale. Instead, something far cleverer. The last episode starts with a crime that's become all too common, the fatal stabbing of a teenage boy. In this scene, Smithy and partner Callum Stone are after one of the murder suspects, and this will be the last chase for this much-loved crime-fighting duo. Chase sequences have always been a hallmark of The Bill, and in this final one, Stone's pursuing at high speed by car with just a little help from Andy the stuntman.
All the stuff that is essentially dangerous than your man who does it.
Yeah,
It just looks a lot better when he does it.
Don't like speed, don't like it.
He used to drive Miss Daisy, so...
I did, actually, yeah.
But it's Smithy who's doing all the hard work in this scene, as he's chasing on foot. I hope he's getting paid extra.
Run round that way. This camera's following you.
Oh, yeah?
Take a right as soon as you can. Keep going. Lovely.
3, 2, 1, action!
That was great, Sam. Well done.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was...
Small car-mounted cameras then film Sam Callis driving, or as some call it, taking the credit.
You're good. Stand by, please.
And these shots are then cut together with the stunt drivers.
We work very hard with these final episodes to make sure that all the trademarks of The Bill are in there. And The Bill is a show where we get out on the streets of London and we film some big action numbers. I think we're skidding a car right now. It's the sound of The Bill. I love it. But it's, I was driving here and just... There they go again. that's quite a big skid.
They can't resist the big skid on the bill, and they've filmed over 400 chases since it began. Surprisingly, very few of these cars ever get written off, thanks to the skills of the stunt and special effects departments. These eye-popping feats are the handiwork of precision drivers, but visual trickery deceives us into believing it's the characters who are behind the wheel. This is Sam and Alex's last ever chase together, and they're about to film the final sequence.
Same way. Lewis,
You can get a bit of dusting, right?
Just a little bit, sweetie. Well enough.
In this section, Alex is still doing all the running, but Sam does get to do his own driving.
I'm going to chase Lewis down here. He's going to come around, attempt to get over that wall. Doesn't quite make it. I come around in the car, skid into this position, at which point Alex turns up.
And I do a bit of this.
Do you need me to give you a minute? And then we get in the car with you.
And that's it, pretty much, really.
Stone pelts after the suspect in the car, leaving Smithy running to catch up. It's a serious business shooting the bill. But there's always time to take the mick out of your mate's driving. But Smithy's not off duty yet, as the director wants another take.
So to show you where I was, so we can sort of like, you can do this with me, director. Come on, let's just...
Alex Walkinshaw has been running in every scene during this 10-hour shooting day. Who said acting was easy? Chases are a signature of the bill, and over the course of the series, Sun Hill's officers and villains have treated us to some spectacular athleticism. But doing take after take for the cameras means you have to be in good shape for this show. After all that charging around, Smithy's taking a break. By the way, that's one of the real Bill he's talking to, not an extra. Whenever the Bill's out filming on the streets, Metropolitan Police officers are on hand to reassure the public that it's a film shoot and not the real thing.
An actor prepares. I'm getting some notes off the real ones. Staying relaxed, eating my ice cream. Ready to go and solve some crime.
Action!
The racing around's paid off, the director's got his shots, and Smithy and Stone finally get their man. But what's a good cop without a good villain? And over the years, the Bill's bad guys have been very good indeed. And the sterling police work of Sun Hill's finest has collared an estimated 2,500 of them. It's a wrap for Smithy and Stone's last ever chase scene together. And before the sun finally sets on Sun Hill, two of the Bill's best-loved coppers return to their old patch for one last visit.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's
Go see. Bring back some memories.